Hey cats, it's Ed Energy Rod Bud here. Today I'm asking the question, which shoe for my 10k road race? Welcome, or welcome back if you're a regular viewer. Pull up a stool, grab a hand of nuts, and let us refresh your mind with some stupendous speed shoes of the super variety. Well, most of them are super, apparently. So very soon I'm running the superb Live Nation event, the Martock 10k, down here in Somerset. I've got to say, I'm rather excited. It's been a while since I did a race, been a long while. But I'm looking forward to it. The race is being started in a kind of queue fashion, so they're going to send someone off every 5 or 10 seconds, something along those lines. I think there's some type of sequence, so Ed Bud is apparently the 33rd person to start. I think it's down to times, so if you're anticipated to finish quickly, then obviously you're much lower in terms of number. So yeah, I've set myself quite a high bar. This route is all road base and some quite low elevation. There's barely any elevation gain at all. A great opportunity to smash some personal bests. If all goes well, of course. Let's hope it's not baking hot like it was the last time I did this one. But I've got to be honest, viewers, I'm all a quandary as to which shoe I should select for this race. Just when I think I've made a decision, something happens to change my mind. Today I'm going to go through just some of the possible options that I've got available, which are many. Let me know, guys, in the comments as to which one you think I should select, or there's also going to be a viewers poll on the community section of the channel. Also, we're very nearly at 20,000 subscribers. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button and help out the channel. Dankeschön. You'll know that my 10k personal best at the moment is 41 minutes 17 seconds, and I did that in the ADIOS Pro. That was back in November of last year, I think. Yeah, I think that was part of the ASICS World Ekiden Challenge that I took part in with some of the other awesome shoe tube buddies that I've got. It just seems to work so well for me. Everything about it, from the upper fit to that midfoot cushion. Is it those energy rods? Have I finally charged them up enough that I'm getting the best from the shoe? I do realise that you don't charge them up, don't worry. I did stop plugging them into the mains after a couple of weeks. Please don't do that at home, guys. Don't mess about with electricity, it's very dangerous. It was just purely for the pun. And I also used the shoe to run that half marathon where I was only 18 seconds off getting in under 1 hour 30. So yeah, it's a shoe that does work very well for me. A worthy option, you could say. That 10k was a good 7 months back, and the half about 4 months ago. So fitness has improved again, and also that top speed is just slowly getting a little faster. The ADIOS Pro's kitted out for road use, so it's perfect for this route. If there was any sort of grass in it at all, I would certainly not use this shoe. It doesn't work all that well on wet grass. Country lanes here with very little else to worry about whatsoever. I don't know if the route is actually closed off to cars. I think there were some vehicles last time out. So I think the ADIOS Pro has got to be an option with only 70 miles on the clock thus far. Another super obvious choice has got to be the VAPORFLY Next% 2. Prototype version here works very well for me in training so far. It feels light, it feels nimble, and it feels mobile. I think my PR for a 5k is in the original version of the Next%. That was 1932, I think. Though that was about 21 months ago, so I'm pretty sure that my potential for the 5k is vastly improved. It's undoubtedly under threat, I think, even perhaps in this 10k race. There's bound to be a few more 5k opportunities cropping up very soon. In fact, I think there's a 5k community type race happening on Sunday. I might go over and join in with that. Although again, that's a race that starts on grass, and the Next% is pretty useless on that. I only got 50 miles into the Next% 2 so far, and it's a model of shoe that I've worn in half marathons and 10k races in the past. I've used it loads in training as well, and I'm just very familiar with it. Whenever I put it on, it's like I'm stepping into an old pair of jeans. Yeah, something like that. I know it can do the job. It's kind of like the standard, isn't it? It's the benchmark. And I've proved in training I can run very quickly in this shoe. Some of those 401 kilometer repeats are right up there. So it's sustained effort. I think the Next% 2 needs to be considered for the 10k. Bit of a wild card next, and one I haven't used all that much since I got it, is the Streak 7. I'm thinking here, reduce the weight and also give me some good ground feel. You've got that Pebax shank plate here and they've also hollowed out quite a lot of the midsole material. Fit is good and on point, really nice and containing over the top of the foot. I guess that shank plate's a little bit like some of the plates you find in the Jordan 11 and some of those other models. You've also got a zoom section in there right in the heel, which does remind me a little bit in a strange way of the Pegasus 83. So I shan't discount this one from possible selection for this race. I think a couple of shoes I have discounted for possible use in this race is the New Balance FUELCELL RC Elite 2 and also the ALPHAFLY as well. I just think it's kind of overkill really with those shoes. Just too much cushion there, too much squash, and for a 10k I'm just not really sure that they're suited. I mean, some of you might really like to use those shoes on a 10k, but for me I think I don't need quite as much. I find the ADIOS Pro a little bit firmer for some reason. I don't know why. Some people say it's super soft, but I don't really find it like that. But I guess, you know, is any shoe unsuitable for a 10k or a 5k or whatever? I'd say probably no. You could use anything, couldn't you? Could use a pair of Crocs. I did see a picture of a guy who ran some ridiculous half marathon time in a pair of Crocs the other day. Don't know whether to believe it or what, but apparently he did. I mean, looking at the shoes I've been through so far in today's video, the ADIOS Pro is easily the heaviest. But in my mind, it's got the edge because I know I've performed well in it in the past. And I guess that's how important experiences are for you. Is the New Balance Rebel 2 a contender? I mean, it ticks loads of boxes, very light, very breathable, and simple and concise. There's not an awful lot that can go wrong with it. I just worry that perhaps the FUELCELL foam here is just a little bit too squashy for the use over a 10k. I found that the original version was a little tougher, and if anything, it gave a little more ground feel. That's kind of absorbed here in the FUELCELL foam. The outsole rubber is certainly suited for road use, very malleable, and all-round fit is on point. Certainly quite a containing shoe. I always feel like I want to run quickly in this one. It's that little bit shorter, it's a little bit more of a tighter fit around the foot, so it gives you that race feel. And if you're going to run a race, you want to have that race feel, don't you? You want to be in the zone, you want to be in the right kind of frame of mind. So a shoe that I've ran some really great interval sessions with since I got it, and I think it's got to be in the running. No pun intended. Another wild card here. I mean, do I get some miles into the Saucony Endorphin Pro 2 and give that an opportunity to shine? It could be a real baptism of fire, couldn't it? I could get some miles into it this week and just make sure that I feel it's ready to use on that. I need to trust a shoe if I'm going to race in it. I wouldn't just take it out of the box and use it. That would be sheer madness. Need to build up some belief in the shoe, I think. And yeah, you've got to get some miles in first, regardless of what type of shoe it is. I'll tell you, the whole room smells of the Endorphin Pro 2 now. I've opened up the box and it's wafting around the scent, that Peebacks garden centre vibe. So that's just a few options there that I can consider. Which one do I feel I should go for? I think it's probably got to be between the Next Percent 2 and the ADIOS Pro, although I ran some ridiculously fast miles earlier on in the ADIOS Pro 2. I was flying and with not a lot of effort, so I'm just wondering whether that should be an option. Regular recruits and new viewers, let me know which shoe you think I should use for my 10k road race down in the comments. Or you can go over to the community section of the channel and register your vote. It's good to have road racing coming back. I'm really up for it. Just like Arsene Wenger used to be. A musical interlude for you. Released back in 1997, The Verve's Urban Hymns is one of those classic albums. Every time I dig it back out to listen to it, it doesn't seem to have aged all that much. Some real classic songwriting on here as well. Some beautiful songs that weren't really the big hits, but became sort of the fan favourites, I suppose. Track 2 on here, called Sonnet, is such a beautiful, simple, acoustic-driven track. It just works. It really lifts up in the chorus. A quite wonderful song. Space and Time and Velvet Morning are amongst my favourites as well. I mean, everybody knows The Drugs Don't Work and Bittersweet Symphony, but I think there's better tracks on the album. I do like the end tune as well, called Come On, which is like a rallying call. Slightly psychedelic rock guitar wig out. It's a good tune. Perhaps those younger viewers may have never heard of it or listened to it. Go and check it out. Urban Hymns by The Verve. Okay, I'm going to get me and my Jordan 1s downstairs for some tea and biscuits. If you haven't done so already, guys, do hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 20,000 subscribers. There will be a giveaway when I hit it. And also make sure you click the bell for notifications below when I launch those new videos. It really helps the channel out too if you give this video a thumbs up like and also share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you